Hey everyone, it's Colin. How's it going? I'm out at Free Geek Twin Cities again, if you couldn't tell. And this machine is kind of interesting. So this is a late 2006 24-inch iMac, so it's an Intel model. And you can tell that people kind of do customizations to their computers over time, right? Like this one's got an Apple sticker on front of the logo. I guess they didn't think the logo was big enough or whatever. And a lot of times computers that come in also have problems. For example, this one appears to be either missing a hard drive or the hard drive itself is dead because it's just not showing up at all in disk utility. But there's something else kind of weird about this machine that caught my eye. Let's spin it around and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, what's this all about? When I first saw this machine, I saw it from the back and I figured, oh, it must be one of the G5s because the G5 iMacs ran very hot. The G5 CPU, PowerPC G5 in general, ran very hot. And the G5 iMacs were kind of notorious for not having the best cooling. So I figured, okay, well, maybe somebody did like their own little custom mods, right? But this is an Intel machine. And the early Intel machines generally did pretty good on cooling. I mean, that was kind of one of the reasons why Apple even switched to Intel from PowerPC was just way better efficiency. But I guess whoever owned this machine didn't necessarily agree. This looks like some sort of fan speed controller, with wiring coming out the end there and just through a hole that they drilled in the back. You've got a fan here, which the speed controller apparently is very touchy because if I just move it a little bit, the fan dies. So I guess that one's dirty. But it's just like a regular PC fan that they screwed into the back from the inside. Got the old hole saw out, I guess. But what's even crazier, I didn't notice this at first. There's another one. Now, I don't know why this one isn't working. It doesn't seem to be, oh, there we go. So that one's also very touchy off of this this fan speed controller in the back. But yeah, and then they even went and did like the cable. It's like that cable sleeving that they use just to put around the edge. This is wild. I've seen people do weird hacks to Mac hardware before. I can't say I've ever seen this before though. Considering that the machine has a dead or missing hard drive, I feel kind of justified in pulling the front bezel off so we can take a closer look at the inside of this thing. So yeah, this thing definitely doesn't have a hard drive. That's where it would have gone, in the bracket. But look at this crazy wiring. They're securing it with aluminum tape. Like this is the kind that you use to seal gaps in like the ducting for the air conditioning and heating in your house. But this is all wiring just for those fans and the fan controller. None of this is factory. So you've got the fan controller where the wiring pokes out the back, and then this is the power supply, and they've got more aluminum tape around it. None of this is factory either. And I think one of their ideas was to help cool the power supply because the fan is directly behind it. But then they've got the other fan down here directly behind the motherboard. Now the CPU is back here, but the heatsink for the CPU is over here. And that's what this fan at least tries to take care of. I mean, this is a factory thing. Pulls air in from the bottom, sucks it in through the front and then blows it across the heatsink and then eventually across the power supply and out the vents in the top. I don't know how much good this fan back here would have done since all the heat from the CPU is going over this way. And you've got this other fan, it's factory as well, that also does some auxiliary cooling across the optical drive, and I think it makes its way across the hard drive and out the top there too. So I think your guess is as good as mine as to why this person did this mod. I don't know if it's because they legit were having a problem, like maybe one or both of these fans failed, and they're like, well, I'll just do the next best thing and run down to the computer parts store, or if they thought Apple did a bad job with the factory cooling and they were trying to get ahead of it. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Anyway, I figured I'd want to share this with you because it's definitely not the sort of thing that you see every day, especially on a Mac. Anyway, if you like this one, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe. You can follow me on social media at thisdoesnotcomp. And as always, thanks for watching.